Hello, it's 12 hours GMT. This is the Midday News. The news is live on Joy99.7 FM in Accra. We are live in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM. We are streaming live on Facebook and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Laura FM in Laura, A1 Radio in Bolgatanga, Sky FM in Sunyani, and Victory FM Aplau. Go digital on Spotify and the MindJoy online app. Coming up, all options remain on the table as government presents its grand plan to tackle the economic difficulties to majority MPs and governing party followers at a cabinet meeting yesterday.
The difficulties that all of us are going through now are not things that we need to have to emphasize and reiterate. It's obvious.
We hear the views of some economists ahead of the meeting.
On one breath, we expect that government will cushion the Ghanaian because of the hardship we are currently facing. But government, on the other hand, also has a very tight budget. So how does it work?
Also in this package, possible food shortages looms as government admits it may not be able to provide even half of the budgeted fertilizer for farming this year.
At the moment, it's very bad. We are doing some serious consideration. We may not be able to supply even half of it because of the price differentials.
Meanwhile, the Meteorological Agency is predicting longer dry weather periods which may have severe consequences for the 2022 farming season.
If you have longer spells, it means that we are going to have a bit of a challenge because our crops will need consistent equal rainfall amounts.
We'll find out how farmers are preparing for the tough times ahead. Also, significant drop in COVID-19 infections in Ghana, with the latest cases showing just one person in hospital and 14 out of the 16 regions recording just 3 cases in a day. We have details of a possible review of restrictions and also hear from the Ghana Health Service and coming up in sports.
Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin says Parliamentary Committee tasked to probe into Ghana's abysmal performance in the African Cup of Nations has completed its work. Its report will be ready very soon.
Mufta will bring us details at 20, and government sets up a one-man committee to probe the seeming interest in lands occupied by foreign missions in the country.
Inquire into the nature of interest in any land held or occupied to land in which diplomatic missions in Ghana have interests whatsoever.
More in the bulletin as it expects to lay to rest dispute over the Bulgarian embassy takeover. And we'll tell you about our new show on Joy Prime, which features what men talk about in the gym.
But for me, she didn't come here with the motive of tempting anyone. She just dressed like that to be comfortable. But she ended up in his bed. Look, I don't.
We have these and more coming up in this half-hour package. Please stay with us. Thanks for choosing us. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. I am Ernest. All options remain on the table as government presents its grand plan for the rescue of the economy to majority MPs and the governing party at a retreat today. It follows a cabinet meeting yesterday where top appointees considered a myriad of solutions to the economic problems facing the country. President Akufo-Addo, who is leading the retreat, has already shut down suggestions for government to resort to the International Monetary Fund, IMF. But that option appears to be back on the table as government's economic interventions hit the rock. Presidential correspondent Elton Bobe looks ahead.
Inflation currently stands at 15%, the highest since 2015. Ghana's creditworthiness has been downgraded. The cedi is in a free fall. Fuel prices have reached unprecedented levels, and transport fares have been increased. Government had expected $3 billion in Eurobond at the start of the year, but that did not come. President Akufo-Addo expects Ghanaians to appreciate the prevailing global economic situation.
The difficulties that all of us are going through now are not things that we need to have to emphasize and reiterate. It's obvious. And the source of it is also something that all of us know. It's having a differing impacts on the different economies and countries. But the root causes of it are well known. And there are matters that we have to also resolve together.
But the outcome of the presidential retreat this weekend will set the tone for doom or glory. The question on the minds of many is whether an international monetary policy program will provide a window of opportunity for the country. Economist with the University of Ghana, Dr. Priscilla Chumesiewua, thinks the time is not ripe.
On one breath, we expect that government will cushion the Ghanaian because of the hardship we are currently facing. But government, on the other hand, also has a very tight budget. So how does it work? Government would approach the IMF only when we are having significant challenges with our balance of payment position. At the moment, as it stands, based on reported reserves by the Bank of Ghana, we don't see a dire situation there.
If an IMF program is not the solution, then homegrown ones will be ideal. Government solution is a proposed e-levy, but former Finance Minister Sep Tepe says it is a non-starter.
E-levy is not the panacea for everything that is being presented. It is a distortion of our tax structure. Second is taxing savings, which is my basic and fundamental opposition to it. It tells you how dire the situation is for us to contemplate. Then secondly, it is exaggerated.
Whatever decision the retreat will come up with, the impact will have some challenges for the economy, but doing nothing will be much worse. And the Speaker of Parliament sums is better.
The information at my disposal. If something is not done within the next 3 months, government may not even be able to pay salaries.
But government's solution may be meaningless if current global activities do not stop. The Russian invasion of Ukraine is affecting the global economy. The cost of living in the US, Europe, and indeed everywhere is changing, affecting people's life negatively. It is even tears for some.
South African motorists will, as from tomorrow, pay R1.46 per litre more on the price of petrol. Thus taking the new petrol price to almost 22 rand per litre.
Elton Brobe for Joy News.
So the rising cost of fuel is also a major issue in all of this. What is the true picture of Ghana in the West African context? Johnny's editor Fred Smith joins me in the studio for a chat on the fuel graph. Fred, how is Ghana faring among other African states?
Well, we put together 14 countries in the sub-region and sourced the information from Energy News Africa and globalpetrolprices.com, and it shows that Ghana is selling the highest. The cost of fuel in Ghana is the highest among all the 14 other countries, with fuel at $1.63 per litre. Nigeria is the lowest, with fuel selling at somewhere around 41 cents per litre. Now, Senegal is the second highest, after Ghana, and they are selling fuel at petrol at 1.3 litres $1.3 per litre and diesel at 1.1. All other countries are hovering around $1 or somewhere around it.
Fred, thank you very much for bringing us those details. Now, the Deputy Energy Minister, Andre Chapamesa, says government will remove some taxes on petroleum products after the meeting.
Well, the proposal from the was the special petroleum tax, the Acquisition and Recovery Levy, and then also the Sanitation and Pollution Levy that we expressed some desire for the government through the Ministry of Finance to look at what they could, as it were, accommodate.
That's the Deputy Energy Minister, Andre Chapamesa. Let's go on to the phone lines now. We're joined by economist Professor Peter Quartey. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on the Midday News. Kindly hold the line for me, because we understand there's a development in Parliament on this. The e-levy is back, as well as the rising cost of fuel. Joseph Akable is in Parliament for us today, and he has the update. Joseph, what can you report from proceedings in Parliament?
And so, first, on the rising fuel price, the minority in Parliament is demanding the dissolution of government's economic management team. According to its spokesperson on PAR, John Jinapo, it says government has to take practical steps to cushion consumers, in that they could have used a stabilization levy and funds that have accrued in the cushion consumers, but have failed to do so. And so that is it by way of their fuel issues. In terms of the general economy, according to the Deputy Majority Leader, the Finance Minister will appear before the House next week to answer questions on steps that is being taken to deal with the current challenges facing the economy. And a specific question has to do with whether government intends to go for an assistance from the International Monetary Fund. And so that is it by way. He also spoke about the e-levy, where he indicated that remains on the table. And anytime government is ready to seek parliamentary approval, a request will be made. And if it has to be put to a vote, it will be put to a vote, Ernest.
Joseph, thank you very much for bringing us those details. That's my colleague Joseph Akable reporting from Parliament today. Professor Peter Korte is still with us on the line. Thank you, sir, for staying with us here on the Midday News. So difficult times for the country, but the people are asking for cushioning. How does government do that by also in a manner that doesn't hurt the economy?
Yeah, good afternoon to your discerning listeners. We are in difficult times. It's not just a local problem, it's a global issue. But we need to fashion out policies that would address the challenges we are facing. One would be the taxes on fuel. I believe the sanitation levy and all the other levies on the fuel could be revised downwards in a way that will cushion Ghanaians. Otherwise, the rate at which fuel prices are increasing is certainly going to affect people's livelihood and might not augur well for us. So we need to work on that carefully. In addition to that, I think expenditure rationalization, where we think we can postpone certain expenditures, we can do that so we reduce government spending. It's not just an issue of raising revenue, but also managing your expenditure within the available resources. Some procurement of vehicles and other things can be postponed. When things are better, then certainly we can procure those items. Lastly, some of the flagship programs, perhaps it's about time we review them. If we come to Ghanaians and tell them, the government approaches Ghanaians and explains to them that, look, we said we're going to do this free SHS and other flagship programs, but times are difficult, not due to our own doing, but also due to the global issues we're having. So let's perhaps suspend part of it or revise downwards the numbers or somebody's support.
Okay.
I believe Ghanaians will embrace this so that we can save some of these resources to tackle other areas that are more critical.
Thank you for your time. That's Professor Peter Korte there, an economist at the University of Ghana, joined us with 3 major suggestions on how government can handle the current situation. Now, this afternoon, there's a major threat to Ghana's food security as local crop production faces a double header of imminent fertilizer shortage and predictions of prolonged drought. Government has revealed it may not be able to meet even half of the budgeted fertilizer for this year. This revelation comes just days after peasant farmers threatened to move away from the production of grains and cereals following the 15% slash of subsidy for fertilizer by government. Speaking on the business edition of PM Express on the Joy News channel, Deputy Minister for Agric, Yao Frimpong Addo, said the Russian and Ukrainian war is partly to blame for the situation.
Those two countries together, I think, account for over 60% of the world supply of chemical fertilizer. And chemical fertilizer is in short supply all around the world. We started not today from the era of the COVID, the outbreak of the COVID pandemic. So the war broke, Before the outbreak of this war, we realized that the cost of fertilizer were going up before the outbreak.
How bad is the situation?
At the moment, it's very bad. Because what we budgeted for fertilizer supplies for this year in the 2022 budget, I can tell you that the amount that we require, we may not be able to supply even half of it because of the price differential.
However, says government is encouraging local companies to shore up their production of organic fertilizer.
The little that we will get, we will ensure that maybe they don't cross our borders. Like while the ministry intends doing, and the discussions are still ongoing, we want to encourage a lot more the production of a lot more of the organic fertilizers. Because locally there are companies that are producing organic fertilizers. We want to encourage, and then at the same time, uptake of such organic fertilizers will depend on the kind of education we do with our farmers. Our farmers are so much used to the inorganic fertilizer because of its application and the immediate results that they get.
Meanwhile, the Meteorological Agency is predicting a slightly longer dry weather period for the 2022 farming season. A late onset of rains and mostly normal cessation are also expected. For Ghanaian farmers, the forecast raises a red flag. So what can be done to mitigate the impact of this adverse weather condition? Here's the Deputy Director of Research and Applied Meteorology at the Ghana Meteorological Service, Francisca Mate.
We expect a longer dry spell and then normal to late cessation. It means that we can get dry places at the coast because we're expecting below normal to normal cumulative rainfall. So we can get dry places at the coast. At the middle belt, we're expecting normal values. But the problem will be if we are having breaks within the rainfall that are longer than normal. If you have longer spells, it means that we are going to have a bit of a challenge because our crops will need consistent equal rainfall amounts. If it rains today and then there's a long break and then rains again, the crops don't need that.
So what is the state of Ghana's food security? Here's the Deputy Minister again.
Currently, I would say that we have good stock of food in our system.
But as you get into the markets, why do you stock enough corn at the warehouse when in the market?
If you don't regulate it well,
cannot get it.
No, if you don't regulate it well, everything will be gone by April and May, June, July. These are very tough times. Every year, May, June, July, very tough times.
That's Deputy Minister for Agriculture, Yao Frimpong Ado. Let's go to the phone lines now and speak to the Programs Manager for the Peasant Farmers Association, Dr. Charles Inyaba. Grateful for your time here on the Midday News. The sector, particularly crop production, faces tough times ahead. First of all, what do you make of the measures announced by government to keep this under control?
Okay, let me say thank you. And I think I like the honest admission by the Deputy Minister, agreeing that we don't really have enough stock. And I also like the question that why do we stock when at the moment we don't have enough to consume? So my doubt has to do with whether we really actually have some stock, because I cannot point out the warehouses where these stocks are. And that was the issue we were actually putting out that we need to prepare ourselves for. So he coming out to tell us that this year they don't have enough resources to even supply what they said they are going to subsidize. To me, I am fine. But that information needs to be disseminated to the farmers and all the other stakeholders so that we all prepare ourselves. And if we need to put alternative measures in place, we do that. But usually, this information is kept within the ministry. Then when it is time for us to actually demand for them, then it's not available. And that is the problem. So for us, we start preparing ourselves already. We saw this one coming.
Okay.
And then we are putting measures to see how best we'll be able to sustain ourselves.
Government is encouraging, local companies to increase their, production of organic fertilizer. He raised issue with farmers' use of organic fertilizer. Are you prepared to adjust to the changes if this production indeed happens?
Yeah, the issue is that we have no option. Whether you are prepared or not, it is the only option left for us. Already, the cost of the inorganic fertilizer is so high that most farmers will not be able to access. Besides that, the availability, as we said, with this Ukraine-Russia crisis, coupled with global price increases and restriction in exportation by some countries, we have no option than to go back to organic farming, to agroecology farming, to relying on organic manure. The problem we faced last year, we tried using some of the organic manure, like the liquid fertilizer and the compost. It wasn't too effective.
Okay.
There are some few companies who came to town with some products. We are prepared to apply them. If you apply and the outcome is good, I think that's the way forward.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time. That's the programs manager for the Peasant Farmers Association, Dr. Charles Inyaba. Let's do some other stories here on the Midday News. And government has appointed former High Court Judge Kwesi Anto Oforiatta to probe the seeming interest in lands occupied by foreign missions in the country. The Bulgarian mission and the Nigerian High Commissions have in recent times been the subject of takeovers by persons who claim to own the lands. Land and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abujinapo says the committee has up to 1 month to make these findings available to the ministry.
The President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, will be the last person to authorize any act that affects diplomatic relations or our obligations under international law. It has therefore become necessary to commission a full investigation into the circumstances leading to the alleged demolition and the development of the property by a private developer to enable me, as the minister responsible for lands, to take the appropriate consequential actions. Accordingly, ladies and gentlemen, I have appointed a highly reputed retired justice of the High Court with vast experience in adjudication of land disputes, Justice Kwesi Anto Oforiatta. His terms of reference are to inquire into the nature of interest in any land held or occupied by diplomatic missions in Ghana. Inquire into any matter relating to land in which diplomatic missions in Ghana have interests whatsoever, and make recommendations to government.
The minister also gave the committee up to 7 days to inquire into the circumstances leading to the illegal takeover and demolition of the Bulgarian embassy.
It is important from the outset to make it clear that government has no hand in the alleged demolition exercise. It has therefore become necessary to commission a full investigation into the circumstances leading to the alleged demolition and the development of the property by a private developer to enable.
That's the Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abujinapo. Justice Kwesi Anto Oforiatta says he expects his findings to lay the matter to rest.
This matter has been trending for some time, and I think that by the grace of God, with my appointment, we should be able to put this matter to rest. Thank you very much. I also wish to assure you and the whole of Ghana that I will do my best to help put this matter to rest. Thank you very much.
You're listening to the Midday News. You're on Joy 99.7 FM. We're taking a break. On we return, we'll bring you the latest in sport and tell you about our new show on Joy Prime, which features what men talk about in the gym.
But for me, she didn't come here with the motive of tempting anyone. She just dressed like that to be comfortable.
But she ended up in his bed.
Look, they're humans and they have feelings. Look. So if you decide to fall for...
What brings you to my house this early morning? I hope all is well.
All is never well with me, Nick Bakbo. After paying 3 times for the land for my project, the construction workers are now giving me wahala. From material overestimation to small stealing. I am tired.
I told you so, Efokoku.
It's all because you are trying to become builders when you're corporate workers and business people. Edlum has products tailored to meet your needs. Villas 3 at Amrahia, where there are finished homes. Conveniente, also at Amrahia, where it's contemporary but super affordable apartments. Prices start from $35,000. And the Avant-Garde, located in Adjurigano, which has sleek luxury apartments. For more information, please visit edlumhousing.com or simply call 0270-166-166. Edlum Housing, where spacious homes cost less.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM with me, Ernest. Time now for sports. Motao is here.
And as you recall, Ghana's poor performance in the Cameroon during the AFCON.
Yeah, I did.
Parliament actually said they were going to investigate and even determine whether Ghana will play against Nigeria.
Hold on, Parliament wants to do what?
They said they were going to investigate why the team performed poorly.
Yeah, I remember.
Now we are hearing from the Deputy Majority Leader that the committee is done with their work and that they will be making the report public very soon.
Mr. Speaker, I am reliably informed that the work given to them is done. Except that, Mr. Speaker, there is a Ghana-Nigeria match, a very crucial match, and the committee in its wisdom is of the view that that match should be played in peace and all matters be discussed later. So, Mr. Speaker, the committee has done its work. The committee has complied with the directives of Mr. Speaker, and the committee will present its report. Mr. Speaker, I thank you, sir.
Ghana versus Nigeria will be played in peace. We don't want to play it in pieces.
Yeah, so in fact, they need to know. First of all, was this an independent committee or this was the Sports Committee of Parliament?
No, it was the Sports Committee of Parliament that investigated. And then the UEFA Champions League draw 2 has been done.
Okay.
If you're a fan of Chelsea, they will come up against Real Madrid, and Man City will play Atletico Madrid. Villarreal will come up against Bayern Munich, and Benfica will play Liverpool. These are the fixtures for the UEFA Champions League quarter-final phase. The draw was done just about an hour ago.
Thank you very much, Mr. for bringing us the latest in the world of sports. Now, Ghana's COVID-19 infections have reduced drastically, with just 7 new cases recorded across the country in the latest reporting window. Now, data from the Ghana Health Service show only 74 people are currently living with the virus as at March 14, 2022. This is down from a high of 13,567 infections as of January 1, 2022. Head of our health desk, Fred Smith, joins me in the studio with more on this. Fred, what's the breakdown of our current situation?
Well, as we speak, we have 160,775 since the outbreak of the disease. We've suffered several waves, but what we have now are 74 active cases. On the day of the last survey, we had 7 new cases on our hands. Only one had a severe COVID case, and there was also no critical case. It means that nobody is in serious trouble in hospital. What we have is that the Bono East, Northeast, Northern, Savannah, Upper West, Western North, all don't have any case at all. Now, Ahafo, Ashanti, Eastern, Greater Accra, Upper East, Volta, and Western all have single cases except Greater Accra, which has 31 cases. And for international arrivals or persons who are coming into the country, there are 31 active cases from those who recorded positives at the airport. Very encouraging news for us.
Indeed. But Fred, let's talk briefly about our vaccination drive. How are we with that?
Well, we've done something around 12 million doses so far, and the Ghana Health Service is encouraging all of us, to those who've not taken the vaccine, to come and take it. This is, once we are having this encouraging news, this is the best opportunity for us to keep a hold on COVID-19.
Fair, thank you very much. Let's go to the phone lines now. We're joined by the Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Isiedu-Bekwin. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on the Midday News. So just 7 new cases across the country. Safe to say that we are out of the woods?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to your listeners. No, I will not say we are out of the woods yet. You see, we are managing a very fluid virus. So there are instances that we can't weaken and then we get a new variant. So now the only sure way is that we need to get getting the right protection. That's getting more people vaccinated. Then even if you get a new variant, you will not get high number of cases or severity.
The information minister had hinted of a possible review of restrictions to include reopening of borders. Is this something the Ghana Health Service is recommending?
Yes, if you look at the data and the general scenario, we think that we can start easing some of the restrictions. But as I said, the best effect will be when we have a lot of Ghanaians vaccinated. Then the effect is found.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time. That's the Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Isiedu-Bekwin. Let's now tell you about our new show, which is airing on Joy Prime. It started last week, and coming up tonight, we'll be talking about what we talk about when we go to the gym. Listen, here's an excerpt of the show.
But for me, she didn't come here with the motive of tempting anyone. She just dressed like that to be comfortable.
But she ended up in his bed.
Look, they're humans and they have feelings. Look. So if you decide to fall for temptation which was not meant for you, and she also thinks, oh, okay, he's a cute guy, he's got all the muscles and everything, and they are both adults and decide to do that, fine.
So that's the BMPS show. That's the bald, muscled, pot-bellied, and also skinny show. It's an all-guy show. You don't want to miss it on Joy Prime this evening. That's it for the bulletin. Many thanks for your company. You'll find more stories when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Ernest. Enjoy your weekend.
Joy 99.7 FM, radio for the discerning listener.
Hello, please, am I speaking to Miss Joanna Kuma?
Yes, please.
My name is Philip and I'm calling from MTN. Someone has just sent you money and we will need you to enter your PIN number so that we can put the money in your account.
Hey,
oh dada, MTN will never ask you for your PIN. Never reveal your PIN to anyone under any circumstances. And if you are not sure, always check the number. MTN will only call you with a dedicated number, 0244 300,000. Stay safe, stay vigilant.